10 years ago, dishwashers often lasted decades. Today, most fail within just 5 to 7 years. When that breakdown hits, repair bills often top $400 or $700, sometimes for a machine that cost barely more when new. That is no accident. This systemic collapse is not just bad luck, it is engineered obsolescence hiding in plain sight. Manufacturers design these machines with fragile pumps, clogged filters, sealed components, and electronics primed for failure, because keeping you buying is more profitable than building a product to last. But the evidence behind this cycle and the real cost to you goes far deeper than most homeowners realize. What are the hidden crimes built into your next dishwasher, and how can you fight back? Inside every modern dishwasher, the heart of the system is the pump. This is where the first engineering crime takes shape. Over the last decade, manufacturers have slashed pump power as a shortcut to meet ever tighter energy regulations. Where older machines relied on robust 500-watt motors, today's models often run on just 300 watts or less. The numbers are clear. Pump wattage has dropped by nearly half since 2012. The result is not just a lower electricity bill, it is a machine that is forced to do more with less muscle and for much longer. Instead of the brisk 45-minute wash cycles of the past, new dishwashers now drag on for 2, 3, sometimes even 4 hours. These marathon cycles are not a sign of advanced cleaning. They are a desperate attempt to make up for weak water flow and limited spray pressure. With less power behind each wash, the pump must run longer to meet cleaning standards set by federal rules. But that extended runtime comes at a cost. Hot water and harsh detergent circulate through the system for hours, subjecting the pump bearings to relentless thermal and mechanical stress. There is no time for the motor to cool. The bearings designed for shorter cycles begin to break down. It is a slow grind, one that most owners never see coming until the motor starts to whine, seize, or simply quit. Service data from repair networks shows a 12 to 15% spike in pump-related repair calls for models released after 2017. These are not isolated incidents. They are the predictable outcome of pushing smaller, cheaper pumps to their limits, cycle after cycle. A veteran technician with 2 decades of experience sums it up. I'm seeing bearing failures on machines that are barely 5 years old. The motors just aren't built to last with these long cycles. The evidence is in the numbers and on the repair bench. Modern dishwashers are engineered to wear themselves out from the inside. The weak pump is the first domino. Once it goes, a repair can cost $300 or more, often tipping the scale toward buying a new machine. And yet, this is only the beginning. The next layer of fragility is hiding just downstream, where debris and design shortcuts set the stage for even more failures. A few years ago, most dishwashers on the market came with a built-in food disposer, a small, rugged grinder tucked beneath the filter that chewed up stray pasta, rice, or seeds before they could clog the pump. That safety net is gone. Starting around 2015, manufacturers quietly pulled disposers from nearly every mainstream model, swapping them for a simple mesh filter basket. The reason was not innovation or consumer demand, it was dollars and cents. Eliminating the disposer saves about $12 to $15 per unit in parts and labor. Multiply that by millions of machines, and the industry pockets over $40 million a year. But the cost does not disappear. It lands squarely on the homeowner. Now every bit of food left on a plate ends up caught in a fine mesh screen at the bottom of the tub. That filter needs to be cleaned by hand often every week, or sooner if you run frequent loads. Skip this chore and debris starts to build up. At first, it is just a faint odor or a film left on glasses, but over time the filter clogs, water flow drops, and the already weak pump strains to keep up. Bearings heat up, the motor labors, and soon enough, the machine starts to sound off. A homeowner in Pennsylvania put it bluntly in a warranty complaint. She said she forgot to clean the filter for a couple of months. Then one day it started making a grinding noise, and the repairman said the motor had seized. She was quoted $350 for a new pump, almost half the cost of her original dishwasher. The data backs her up. Clogged filters are the second most common cause of early warranty claims, trailing only electronics. Service logs from major brands show that filter neglect is a direct path to pump failure, especially in the first 3 years. The filter itself is a $20 part, but a burned-out pump triggered by a clogged screen can cost $300 to $500 to replace. Most owners faced with that bill choose to scrap the machine. Manufacturers defend the change as a win for energy efficiency and noise reduction. But the real winners are the companies who offload maintenance onto consumers while quietly banking the savings. The mesh filter is a classic engineering shortcut, one that turns a $15 factory gain into a $500 homeowner loss. And it sets the stage for the next, even more expensive trap, the sealed pump assembly, where a single failure can doom the entire machine. Inside the service manual for a leading dishwasher brand, one directive stands out in bold: replace the full motor pump assembly. Not the pump, not the motor, the entire module. This is not a technical necessity, it is a business decision, and it has become the rule, not the exception. Since 2017, over half of all new dishwashers sold in the United States have switched to sealed assemblies. These modules are glued, welded, or overmolded at the factory, making it impossible to access or swap out the small parts inside. A $20 pump motor, once a routine fix, now comes bundled in a $300 to $400 block of plastic and copper. Labor costs jump too, since the whole assembly must be removed, replaced, and resealed. The repair bill quickly climbs to $420, $500, sometimes even $580, and that is often more than half the cost of a new machine. The numbers are staggering. Home Advisor's analysis of 12,000 service calls found that when a sealed module fails, nearly 3 out of 4 owners choose to replace the dishwasher entirely. The average repairability score for these models is just 2 out of 10, compared to 6 out of 10 for older machines with serviceable parts. And the pain does not end there. After about 5 years, manufacturers quietly label these modules no longer available. That means even if you are willing to pay, the part simply does not exist. The only option left is to scrap the entire appliance. This design is not just expensive for the owner, it is a disaster for the environment. The Environmental Protection Agency estimates that every 10,000 sealed module failures send an extra 1/3 of a ton of metal and plastic straight to landfill. A single engineering shortcut multiplied across millions of homes becomes a mountain of e-waste and a windfall for manufacturers. The forced replacement economy is no accident. It is built into the machine by design. The final blow comes from a place most owners never see: the electronic control board. Tucked behind a thin plastic panel, this circuit board stands guard over every wash, exposed to a relentless mix of heat, steam, and chemical fumes. During a typical cycle, the air inside the door can reach 70 degrees Celsius, hot enough to soften solder, warp plastic, and accelerate corrosion on every exposed trace and connector. Each time the heater fires, the board endures another round of thermal cycling, causing tiny cracks to form in the solder joints and microchips. Steam finds its way through seams and gaskets, carrying detergent residue that settles on the board and eats away at metal contacts. Over months and years, this silent attack builds up until one day the machine flashes an error code and locks itself down. Repair technicians see the pattern again and again, dishwashers that run perfectly for a few years, then suddenly fail with cryptic electronic errors. The numbers are damning. The mean time between failures for these boards is just 5.8 years. When the control board goes, the repair bill is almost always between $300 and $550, often half the price of a new dishwasher. Worse, manufacturers routinely discontinue replacement boards after 5 years, labeling them no longer available in their parts catalogs. A failed $20 relay or corroded connector means the entire appliance is now electronic scrap. Owners are left with a machine that won't start, stuck in a loop of error codes that no amount of button pressing will clear. The only way out is a costly repair or a trip to the store for a new unit. It's not bad luck. It's the result of putting fragile electronics in harm's way by design. This is the final engineering crime, a system built to fail with no escape but to buy again. Today's dishwashers are engineered for obsolescence, with fragile pumps, filter traps, sealed modules, and disposable control boards that all but guarantee early failure and costly repairs. Every purchase rewards this cycle. Until we demand durable, repairable machines, the 5-year breakdown remains the business model, not the exception. Your choices set the standard. Speak up.